Sawadika, good evening and welcome to Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Nabunak.
I'm Frankanchi.
So we'll begin tonight with this story, which is becoming a huge concern for many Thais. So imagine if you're about to make a transaction on your mobile, but all of a sudden you just find out that your bank account has been frozen.
Yeah, it's just saving account actually, Ned. Actually people, I think in Thailand, some people buy gold. Some people maybe just save their money in their saving account, but eventually one day you might just want to transfer 100 baht to me, but at the end it was frozen.
It was frozen, and some people have reported that their account balance is unrealistic as well. So let's say normally you would have like 10,000 baht in your bank account, all of a sudden it's minus 10,000.
How would that happen?
It's weird, isn't
Yes,
it?
weird.
It might be a technical problem, but this is really a serious problem because right now many people have been complaining that they won't be able to do any of the financial transactions and they are afraid that their savings account would be frozen because banks have mistaken them for illegal meal accounts, and this is a nationwide concern at the moment. And this came after complaints from several users who have posted on their social media accounts saying that their bank accounts have been frozen without any warnings at all, leaving them unable to do any of the financial transactions or even access their own money. And this not only affects people's personal lives, but also those running small businesses simply because money has been transferred to their accounts from unknown sources. And because of this fear, people have started to withdraw cash from their bank accounts, and they said that they don't have the trust in these banks in keeping their money safe anymore.
Right, Ned. So it's pretty important. Actually, no matter for small businesses, they might have just over 200,000, 300,000, or less than 1 million. And sometimes they have to buy goods.
Yeah.
They have buy ingredients, for example, for restaurants, but for individuals, sometimes we just need to pay for our food.
Yeah, pay for food
Groceries.
or just some necessities that I really need. But imagine that people's lives are already affected. But what about business owners? How are they going to use that money if their bank accounts are frozen? What are they going to do if they have to buy some produce to cook food and sell to their customers? There's no way that they could do that if their bank accounts are frozen.
Yes, but on the other side, of course, for the bank side, they have to protect themselves too, because sometimes, as what we said, we always talk about scam centers, mule accounts, illegal accounts that bank needs to protect themselves from. So this is one of the technical way to help them.
Yes, and an urgent meeting took place today, which involved the Bank of Thailand, the Cybercrime Investigation Bureau, and commercial banks to seek ways to improve the procedures for freezing and unfreezing the bank accounts of people suspected of being linked to illegal activity. And many of the agencies agree, though, that the procedures need to be updated to stop the practice of adversely impacting innocent bank customers whose accounts were thought to be illegal mule accounts. But despite these concerns, the Bank of Thailand did explain, though, that freezing suspicious accounts is necessary to enable the tracking and recovering of stolen funds. But if we talk about this measure, we have to go all the way back to January this year, because the central bank itself enforced its measure to shut down mule accounts, which requires all commercial banks to stop financial transactions through bank accounts which are suspected to be mule accounts and to notify their customers as well. And this measure came following the rapid increase of online scammers, which spread like wildfire, especially during the past year, where many Thais fell victim and lost sums of money to these call center scammers. And based on this measure, if a commercial bank becomes suspicious of a bank account, the bank can stop financial transactions through such an account, which will help mitigate the damage caused by scammers. So currently, those who have their bank accounts mistakenly frozen can reach out to the Anti-Online Scam Operations Center hotline, which is 1441. And I'm pretty sure that many people could imagine how many people have called this hotline, because I'm pretty sure that over hundreds of people have been affected by this mistake already. And so far, the cyber police has decided to open up 2 more hotlines to assist those who have been affected. And I'm pretty sure that it is much more complicated than it seems, because it's not just the bank accounts that are frozen, but what about the money trail that is coming from as well?
Yes, so Ned, actually I got this experience a few months ago, as one of my bank account was frozen because they think that the transaction from one individual to my account was illegal. So they have to freeze my account for the investigation. So this process actually went for like 2 months, 1 to 2 months, until they defroze my account. They, of course, validate my account to continue to be used again. But this is how people's life got affected at this moment, because as what you just said, so many media channels, especially Thai PBS, also went to Lux area to talk to small businesses and people on the ground. And they still afraid. I mean, people, they are still afraid. They are worried about their account being frozen again. Or if they are just small businesses or individuals, sometimes you, for example, might just transfer the food price or just pay for me for food or for anything else, and somehow my account got frozen.
Yes, and for many of the shop vendors there, they say that they would have no idea about the customer's payment history, and there is no way that they will be able to track every single payment from each of the customers, because they have more than hundreds of customers each day. So it's completely impossible to track who has a bad track record of their payments. And they even complained that whoever is responsible for tackling the mule accounts, whether it's the central bank, the police, or even related agencies, they say they should fix the main cause of the problem, which is tackling the opening of mule accounts rather than just freezing everyone else's accounts just to investigate the money trail.
Right. I think right now, of course, for Thai people, it's pretty easy to open one account. You just go to the banks and use your ID card. You can open one account. But for foreigners like me, it's not that easy at this moment, because one of my friends, he wanted to reinitiate or revocate the account, the bank account, because he registered since he was a student here. But now the account was frozen because he hasn't used for a long time, but right now he wants to relocate back to Thailand, but he needs to get work permit first.
I think it's really complicated for
Yeah.
foreigners because you need a lot of supporting documents to prove that you'll be staying here for a certain period of time, like a temporary, like they call it temporary residence. So you need a lot of documents to support, to prove that you're going to stay here, you're working here, and you have a job here. Or else these banks would not give you the permission to open up a bank account.
Yes, and those banks, of course, they might think that you're going to open one mule account for illegal activity too. So that's why I think it's quite complicated, as what you said.
Yes, and once your bank account is frozen, it is extremely difficult to get it back. Because for some people, it took them more than like 4 or 5 months in order for their bank accounts to be able to be activated again. So it's going to be really difficult.
Right.
And when speaking of mule accounts, there are actually 5 levels of mule accounts. So it depends on the severity and how suspicious these bank accounts are. The more suspicious, the less likely that you will get it back.
It takes time, of course, as what you said, how to unlock it.
Yeah.
Since your account has been frozen, it took me around 2 months to get it back. Only just one track of source, financial source from others.
Yes, but while we do understand that many of the related agencies have to do this for the sake of protection, considering the increase of scammers luring people to transfer money into their mule accounts, that might be like some sort of prevention. But considering that many people have been affected and most of them are not even involved in money laundering. So many agencies are actually trying to revise that.
Yeah, but it will take some time, and because I understand that banking, when it links to bank, links to money, links to the track of the financial status there, which is pretty important. But of course, I think Thai banks, they still need time to do it.
Exactly, and it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
And now let's move on to what has happened with Thaksin Shinawatra. The former leader was sent to prison last week as the Supreme Court ruled that his controversial stay at the hospital does not count towards his prison term. Now that he has completed his 5-day quarantine in prison, his family can now visit him today. And former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, who is serving a jail term at Khlong Prem Central Prison, today received his first family visit after completing a 5-day quarantine. The first group of visitors, of course, included Thaksin's former wife, Kun Ying Pochamanapom and his daughters, former Prime Minister Pathongthach Shinawatra and Pintongthach Shinawatra Kunakornwong. Pathongthach told reporters after her visit today, where she revealed that she had talked to her father for about half an hour. She said that her family's main concern now is Thaksin's health, saying that her father has high blood pressure and stress. However, she said that Thaksin is still in good spirits. She also found out from the corrections officials that people who had lunch near the Khlong Prem Central Prison were sending moral support for Thaksin, in which Pathongthach thanked on her father's behalf. The Deputy Director General and spokesman of the Corrections Department said the prison had made special arrangements for the visit. He also said that there is no limit on the number of relatives who can visit at one time, and family members are allowed to meet him all together. Prison staff will be stationed inside to provide guidance and enforce the Corrections Department's regulations on inmate visits and outside contact. And based on reports, Thaksin remains in stable physical and mental health, and he is also ready to meet his family for the very first time today and appears to have come to terms with his situation. And he continues to take the necessary medication for his chronic conditions and spends most of his time reading and watching TV to relieve stress. So this is the latest update on Thaksin Shinawatra following his official imprisonment.
Right, of course, this is a very saddening situation for Petongtan Chinawat, of course Chinawat's family too, to talk about Pheu Thai's next development, because according to political analysts here, they really want to see how Pheu Thai can revive their influence in the political landscape. Of course, right now, the person in the house is Anutin Meets, of course, the head of Phumjai Thai Party. But people still want to see how Pheu Thai Party, maybe in 1 year term, right now, of course, for Thaksin Chinawat, he would stay in the prison for only 1 year, 1 year prison term. But for some people, for the red shirt or Pheu Thai supporters there, 1 year might not be so long for them, because they might see, again, the strong men in Thailand's politics come back again.
Exactly, and many of the analysts believe that even though Thaksin is sent to prison, it's not over for Pheu Thai and the Shinawat family, because they are pretty certain that Thaksin has something in mind for the country. And despite being released from prison 1 year later, Pheu Thai might make a comeback, especially for the upcoming general elections as well.
Right, and that election will come very soon, as of course, according to the promise between People's Party and Phumjai Thai Party, maybe 4 months. But after the election, it takes around 3 months to transition. So it means that Phumjai Thai's leader Anutin will still stay as prime minister for at least 6 months to 7 months. So it means that...
Well, so that's longer than what they agreed to be 4 months.
Yeah. But of course, they have to wait for the election and for the vote, for the transition. So it takes time. But of course, how could Pheu Thai win the majority again without Thaksin in the house?
Exactly.
That would be very interesting for us to see. And right now, of course, we have to move from politics to the economy. We always say that politics and economy link together, Nat. So this time, Prime Minister Anutin Meets, of course, went to FTI, Federation of Thai Industries, to talk with the chairman, Khlong Prem, to see how to revive Thailand's economy in this juncture. Because, Ned, I think no matter what Khlong said now, as what we always covered on the economy, SMEs, they need support from the government. Of course, the stimulus project for farmers on the ground and the tariff impact too is pretty important for Thailand to really negotiate, of course, to 19% already. What about the technical level there too? So I think Khlong, the chairman, already said that short-term economic solutions, we have to help farmers, we have to help agricultural sector. How about tackling the substandard imports, exports there too? The very strong Thai baht, we see that come down a little bit. What about household debt? Of course, last week you talked about that. In this week with Thai PBS World about your economic report. Almost 90% of our GDP, household debt there too. One of the important figure that we see today that Anutin brought with to meet the chairman of FTI is Khun Supaji, of course, the new Commerce Minister designate, will become the minister very soon. So many business leaders, they get into Anutin's cabinet. They want to help with their pragmatic measures, not just on the policy paper. They want to give their experience on the ground. So FTI presented to the Prime Minister with a congratulatory gift, and Prime Minister Anutin said that now is the time to address pressing issues to strengthen Thailand's economy, no matter as what I said, Thailand Plus One, co-payment system, 20 baht flare for electric train tickets there. So many policies. How can we do it in just 4 months, Ned?
Well, most economists say that it's not possible to implement these policies effectively in just 4 months, because to make sure that these policies are really effective, you need at least a year or at least like 2 years. But in just 4 months. And considering the government, which is a minority government, that will require support from the opposition. And many economists say that it's not supposed to work that way.
Yeah, so this is how politics works. And when that got involved in the business sentiment net, as what you said, of course, right now, Phung Thai does not have the majority in the parliament, and you said that have to cooperate with People's Party or other parties in the opposition side too. So I think short-term stimulus might work.
Yes.
Both sides, I mean, the government side right now, Phung Thai, and the opposition side might really cooperate together, no matter it's 20 baht flag flare,
Yep.
no matter it's 50 co-payment project there or policy. But what about long-term policy? Do they really agree with each other? That's the point.
Yeah, and the long-term measures would be very challenging considering that the government would have only 4 months in office. So this is going to be very challenging, and the only choice that they have would be to focus on short-term measures because that's the only thing that they could do.
Yeah, and as we, of course, talk to Kasikorn Research Center or other banks research center, recession might come in Q4, and the outlook in 2026 is dire too.
And I think the recession is already coming. It's not just in the future, but it's already the present.
Right, so GDP down, government expenditure slow, everything slowed down. So very big task for Kun Anutin and Kun Supati.
Yes, but regarding the update on the new cabinet, Anutin did say that the full list will be submitted for royal approval by the end of this week. And we have already seen who will be joining the Anutin cabinet. And you may have noticed that most of them are outsiders, especially on the economy. On the economy, energy, commerce, everyone are outsiders.
That's a good strategy, I would think, because they really know, business leaders, they really know what happened on the ground. So they can really come in and give the direction to Anutin, and Anutin approves. That could be a good strategy.
Yeah, the good strategy is that these outsiders are already experts in their own fields, whether it's fiscal policy, business, commerce. So they might be a good addition to the Anutin cabinet. But with only 4 months in office, or let's say 6 months in office if things delay, how can we be sure that these short-term measures can actually stimulate the economy? And even one of the economists I interviewed last week, they felt that Thailand has been way too reliant on stimulus measures, injecting so much money into the economy, but not really considering the long-term development.
Yes, so in short, of course, business leaders, they want to see long-term strategy, long-term development to really position Thailand in Southeast Asia. As in, they don't, actual business leader, existing ones, they want to stay here.
Yeah.
But how long could they stay here? That's another point.
Exactly.
And what can Thai governments make them stay here? Is another critical point too.
Exactly. And some people say that if there is no political instability, then because you know that the political instability and the economy often go together. But once politics is unstable, there's no way that people could like drive the economy. But if politics is stable, then the focus can be more economic development.
But right now, that's not the focus yet.
With
So
just 4 months in office.
yes.
So their priority right now is just to dissolve the parliament and redraft the constitution.
Right. And what about for the economy? We will see.
Exactly. And that's all for this edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. Join us every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Thai PBS World's Facebook and YouTube Live. You can also follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest stories and analyses about Thailand. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. สวัสดีค่ะ
Sawadee krap.